Hey y'all, it's your girl Siobhan, or you guys can call me Bonnie, and this is my ministry, Kingdom Chasers, where we are chasing after the kingdom of God and all of his righteousness, all of his greatness, and all of his glory. Y'all know that is what we do here. I want to thank all my subscribers, all those who follow and are subscribed and who come back and listen to the messages. Thank you guys so much. And to those who are here for the first time, y'all know I always say welcome, welcome, welcome. I just appreciate each and every single one of you guys and just thank you. I believe that the Lord is getting ready to do some amazing things, not just for this ministry, but in the lives of those who follow this ministry and who are seeking after him diligently, okay? Thank you guys so very much. I cannot thank you guys enough for the support. Thank you. And just speaking of, I remember when I first started this ministry, this channel, I was so afraid. I was so afraid to start this, and I was having a lot of doubt and a lot of fear. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how the Lord, how he is getting ready to restore things, how he is getting ready to set us into places and positions so we could be walking in that thing that he has called us to do. Okay? So let me just give y'all a backstory if y'all don't know, because I don't think I really shared this before with y'all. So years ago, well, I would say over half my life, I have been in relationships. And I would say for about the last, 2 years, I want to say year and a half, I have not been in a relationship, a serious relationship. I had 2 serious relationships that expanded over I would say maybe 14 years of my life. Okay. So quite a while, almost half my life I have been in a relationship. Okay. I'm not trying to tell my age, y'all figure that out. But half my life been in relationships, okay? And I end up getting this identity that I could not be alone, that I was not worthy enough, okay, to do things on my own. I had very low insecurity. It was to a point that in my life, once I got out of my last relationship, that I was so insecure, y'all, and so afraid of things, to be alone. Like I couldn't go anywhere by myself. I would feel so anxious. And I know that this is not just for me. And I never thought that I would even be sharing something like this. But I was doing therapy, and my therapist had tasked me with this assignment that I had to do. And she was like, you are going to have to go to a restaurant by yourself and sit there, and you're going to enjoy yourself, and you are not going to be on your phone, and you are going to enjoy, and you're going to get comfortable with being in a place by yourself. And she said, once you start doing that and getting used to it, you're going to enjoy it. And I remember being so scared. And I remember thinking, maybe I'll just tell her that I'm gonna go. And I remember calling people, calling a friend, oh my gosh, I cannot believe she has me doing this. I don't want to go to a restaurant. It's so awkward. And I just did not want to do it. So last week, on my way home, and I had a few hours that it took for me to get home, and I'm talking to the Lord and just reminiscing on my life, like, okay, Lord, my birthday's in a couple days, and just thanking him for all these things that he has done and where he has me in this season of my life. And it brought me back to a point where I was asking him and talking to him about a relationship. And he came back and placed in my spirit that how this is not the season. Okay, so some of us, I feel like I have something on my lip. Some of us, we are wanting to be in a relationship. We're wanting marriage. We're wanting that family. We're wanting that community. We're wanting those friendships, those connections. When God has us in a place where he wants us all by himself. And that's what he was telling me. That right now, the only relationship that I need you to focus on right now, not that he wants me to just be completely isolated, not that, like, understand the context of it. When it comes to wanting marriage or a relationship with a man, if you're a man with a woman or a woman with a man, that there is a season and seasons in our lives where we cannot be in relationships. Because for me, it came to a point where those relationships that I was in, I lost my identity. Okay? I lost my identity and I idolize it. And God hates that. He despises us. And it brought me to the scripture because we want these things. It is a desire of ours, to have relationships and marriages. But it gets to a point where we idolize that. And he speaks a little bit about it when he tells us to put to death our earthly nature. Okay, and he talks about it being like sexual immorality and impurity and lust and evil desires and greed, which is idolatry. And some of us don't think like, well, I'm just in a relationship and I just love my partner and I just want to always be with my partner. But it gets to a point where you idolize that person. And God says in his word that no one should be above him. And when you start to think and your life is centered and focused around a person, a business, a ministry, a child, a partner, you idolize that. That person now is an idol to you. Okay? And God was telling me that I need you to be in relationship with me and just me, and to enjoy the process. Okay? And to know who you are in me. To know who you are in me. To know your identity. That your identity, it lies in me. Okay? And he gave me this like example. He was like, I will not put a man and a woman together and they only date for 2 months and then they get married. And then 2 months down the line, they found out that they're pregnant. And then another 7 months later, she's pregnant, and they have a baby. Okay, and he was like, when you are in a relationship with someone, you have to get to know that person. You don't just hop into it and then marry. Because you miss out on the process of it. You miss out on experiences and you miss out on a delicate piece of learning who that person is and learning who you are. And that's what the Lord was showing me. Like, I want you to see who you are in me, that you don't have low self-esteem, that you're not insecure, that you can go to places on your own because I go before you, because I walk with you. And that's what he was telling me. Like, now that these things have been taken away from me, certain the relationship and friendships or opportunities will be taken away from us, so we don't idolize those things. So we get to a place where it's like God is telling us, this is what you need to focus on. I am who you need to focus on. I am the one who shall be walking with you to get you to this place, to get you to this destiny. Just like he did with the Israelites. He did not take them out of Egypt and take them right to the promised land. He had them in a wilderness season. And no one ever talks about, well, people do talk about this wilderness season, but how it is difficult sometimes. Like, it's hard sometimes. There's an illusion of loneliness in the wilderness. Though we may feel alone because we don't have a partner, we feel like we don't have this friendship, these communities, the support system. But we have the one who is the source. And if we just stay connected to him, if we stay connected to the source, that he will give us the resources. The resources are the friendships, the marriages, the children, the community, the job, the finances, the car, whatever it is that we desire, we have to seek him first in it. And that's what he was telling me. And I remember going back to the assignment that my therapist had me on, of going and sitting in a place and being by yourself and knowing and just being aware of what you're feeling and loving yourself through that process. And that was this, and I feel like that is the same thing. And it's so crazy and ironic that the Lord, like, now he like brought that to me. Is like, you, just like how you sat there that day in that restaurant and you felt alone, though you were surrounded with people that you did not know, but I was there. I was there comforting you, though you were anxious about it, though you were sad about it. It was a point that I started looking at people that came in with their spouses or their friends, and I'm like, I'm sitting here by myself, going through it, trying to save a relationship that I feel like the Lord was trying to pull me out, because I had created an idol of this thing. And the Lord was showing me, like, you're gonna feel like that, but look at how you feel now. And I never thought that I would get to a place that I could go and do things by myself. Like, that was such a big thing. I could not. Like, if I wanted to go somewhere, I would like ask someone, like, hey, I want to go to the movies. You want to go to the movies with me? Like, even something so little and simple as that. Like, it was an attachment. It was a hindrance on my life, on my identity, on my mind, on my spirit. What I want to say also is that we blame things like on the enemy, like, oh, that's just the enemy. But sometimes it's not. It's our upbringing. Sometimes it's our circumstances that we go through that left this false view of myself. It was a false view of myself that I could not go to places alone because people were going to look at me like I was weird, or I just wasn't confident enough. I was telling myself these lies that I can't go anywhere by myself. And the Lord is going to take us places where we are going to be by ourselves, because he cannot take us to the promised land if we are holding on to certain people, if we are holding on to certain things, if we are making idols, if we are still involving ourselves in these earthly and fleshly things, like it says in Colossians chapter 3 verse 5. If we are holding on to these earthly things, if we're not putting to death these earthly things, then we will never make it to the promised land. We'll never make it to our promised land. And the moment that he started stripping away these things out of my life, these false negative lies and thoughts That's when I started to see who I was. And I'm still learning, y'all. I'm still learning. And I fall short sometimes. You know, I do feel lonely. I do feel discouraged. You know, I do have fear. But I know who it is that is carrying me through this season. It's not a man. It's not a friend. Though their prayers, you know, though the community that I have, their prayers, they're covering over me. But the thing that I thought would hold me up all the time, that I needed, like air that I need, I don't need that. It is Christ who it is that I need, because he is my source. He is going to get me through. He is going to show me who I am. And I just had to come on and just say that, because some of us may be going through this season, or may have even struggled or are struggling with identity. Like you're trying to figure out who you are in Christ. And when I tell you, when you ask him, Lord, what is it that I'm making an idol of? Lord, show me the idols that I have in my heart, and remove them things, remove them people, so that I can glorify and worship you the way that you're supposed to be glorified, the way you're supposed to be worshiped. So that I can see the things that you have for my life, the fruits, the blessings, and the promises that you have that are stored up waiting for me. But here on earth, I'm desiring these fleshly things that's keeping me in this wilderness. There are traits, there are personality traits, there are thoughts, and there are fears, and there is idolatry and adultery happening in my life that I'm doing, that is causing me to stay here in this wilderness. Ask him to show you the idols in your heart. Ask him to show you who you are in him, not who you are. Because sometimes when we're in relationships, we take that on as our identity. We have to get out of that. Or what we do, our career. Yes, I may be a nurse, but that is not who I am. Who is Siobhan? Who is she? Who did you call me to be before you formed me in my mother's womb? That is who I need to be trying to walk in. I need to be walking in that person, Lord, that you called me to be. And I cannot do that if I'm desiring my flesh. That's why it's always a war between the spirit and the flesh. And our flesh, we have to die. We have to crucify our flesh. We have to crucify it daily. Just like he showed me, like, Lord, yes, I want that. I want that community. I want that village. And he was showing me, like, well, you have that. You have it. You have that friend that you pray and fast and intercede with and for. You have this community that I have brought you in your ministry. And though I only have 143 subscribers, y'all are my village. Okay? I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. I pray for you guys. He was like, that's your village. The relationship, that's on hold. But what I have for you, when I take you to that promised land, because there's still things that I have to learn about myself. There's still things that I have to learn about God. It's a relationship, and I don't want to speed past that process of getting to know Jesus, because there's new things that I find out about him. His word is so amazing. It's so much. It's so much, and I cannot learn it in one season. I cannot learn it all in 2 seasons. This is a race that we will run until we take our last breath. So I want to enjoy every bit of it. And when we have marriage, then we have other duties, because that is our husband. That is our covenant that we have with the Lord and with our husbands, and duties and things that we have to. But when it's just you and your singleness, it's just you and God. And oh my gosh, how beautiful it is. Though it is hard sometimes, though it may feel lonely, because it's not lonely, it just feels that way. Like, he was just showing me so many things, and I just had to get this out, because I remember how I felt, y'all. I was going through like an identity crisis. I had no idea who I was. None. My faith was little. If Jesus was to be, and if he was to have shown up at my door when I was on the call with my therapist, he would say, "You of little faith." He would have been so disappointed in me. But thank the Lord for his grace and his mercy, that they're new every day. Because I would pray, I would be praying, and I would be fasting. And that's when things started breaking off my life. When we fast and pray, those things will have to flee. Those strongholds have to go. Those generational curses have to go. The lies and the deception has to go. When he really says that you take off this, the life of a new man, you are really becoming a new person. You are really being born again. Oh, it's so amazing. Like, it's so amazing. And he's so good. He's so good. So I just had to just tell y'all that, because what he's doing, do not think that he is not doing a new thing. He is a God of restoration. He is a God of renewal. He is a God that keeps his promises. He is a God that never fails. He is a God that has never lost a battle, never lost a war. He is a God that he could just speak and things are created and destroyed. That's it. If we knew, like, we just have to just think about the winning side that you're on. Oh, how good he is. How good he is. But I just wanted to just come on here and just encourage y'all, okay? The wilderness, the singleness, that is just temporary, okay? It's just a moment. But in those moments, oh my gosh, enjoy him. Think about all the things that his word says. Meditate on it. Have self-control. You know, be gentle to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Because in your obedience and in your faith that you have, he's going to show you how good he is. And it's going to be beyond our wildest imaginations. It's going to be bigger than the things that you've written in your journal and the things that you stored up in your heart. The thing that he has, the thing that is going to come forth, is going to be so much bigger, so much better, because our understanding and his understanding exceeds it. His plans for us are far greater than the ones that we can even imagine. But we have to tear down idols. We cannot be living in disobedience. We cannot be straddling the fence. So I love you guys. God bless you guys. And I pray that you guys continue to seek after God, seek after him and all of his righteousness, and those things that we're waiting for, those things that we desire, those things that we hope for, that we're having faith for, those things will be added to us. They'll be added. We just have to hold on a little longer. Okay? All right. I love y'all. God bless y'all.